So can somebody go over that description again, inshallah, the second one? Yeah. Go on. Now, تفضل.
First, they were facing the enemy. They divided in two groups. One group prayed with the Prophet ﷺ, while the other group were looking out for the enemy. And the first group, they performed the first rak'ah with the Prophet, the first group. And after they performed the first rak'ah, the first group will stop with the second group, and then the second group will join in the second rak'ah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But this is still there first. And the first group that went back, they are looking at the enemy, and the second group finishes one rak'ah and the Prophet gives taslim ﷺ, and so then they finish the one rak'ah remaining for both groups on their own. The scholars mentioned that it has to be done in different situations because
they say it's a possibility they could have done it together, but that seems unlikely. But because obviously then they would leave themselves exposed. So the hadith of Abu Dawud suggests or shows that the second group continued and they finished their second rak'ah, and then the first group came back and did their second rak'ah.
And this is done on their own.
Yes, this is done on their own. Now. Okay, barakallahu fikum. And this this second description is the description chosen by Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, the Hanafiya. And they choose the description because they say this is more in accordance to the usul, that is the Imam finishes the salah before the ma'mumeen, before those who are following the Imam. Right? So for that reason, Imam Abu Hanifa prefers this particular method or this particular description of the salah. Now, if I can, inshallah, we've got another 4 left. Okay, if I can cover one more today, inshallah, and maybe finish the rest next time. I was given 2 slots, so I'll save some for next time. The third description is the hadith of Salih ibn Khawf. And the hadith mentions Amman Salla ma'a Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he Salih ibn Khawf, he mentions from someone who prayed with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And this particular narration is muttafaqun alayh, al-Bukhari and Muslim. The narration of Muslim mentions who this person was, and that person was Sahal ibn Abi Hathma, sorry. Sahal ibn Abi Hathma is the one who is mentioning this hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And this happened Yawma Dhat Riqa. This is the one that happened on the battle of Dhat Riqa. They prayed Salatul Khawf, and this is what happened. This is the description. The group prayed with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and a group was facing the enemy. Okay, so listen carefully, inshallah. I have to look at it carefully here. So group was praying with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Group was facing the enemy. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam finished one rak'ah with the first group, he stood and he waited. He finished the first rak'ah and he stood still. That first group, they completed the salah. Okay, that first group, they completed the salah. So in other words, they did another rak'ah while Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was standing. So they did that second rak'ah and then they went off. Okay. Of course, they would be praying by themselves because they're no longer following the Imam. So the Imam is standing still. So that they would complete the salah, the extra rak'ah by themselves, and then they would go off. Then the second group comes and joins Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the rak'ah that he is left to pray. So he sits down and he prays. Okay, so he would pray how many rak'ah? 1 rak'ah, right? So Rasulullah would pray 1 rak'ah. The second group would have to pray 2. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he gets to the end of his second rak'ah, he sits, waits in tashahhud. That group that has now joined him stands up, completes the second rak'ah. Once they've done the second rak'ah, they join Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he finishes the salah with them. Yeah, did you follow that? Okay, so once again, anybody? Romero.
Okay, first the Prophet prayed with one group, there's 2 groups, he prayed with the one group, and then when the Prophet goes to the second rak'ah, yeah, he stays standing while the first group finish by themselves, and then they go out and the second group comes in, And then when Prophet ﷺ was in tashahhud, yeah, the second group goes all the way, do the second rak'ah and go to tashahhud and then the finish.
Yeah, is that right? Okay, barakallah fiqh. So this is the hadith of Salih ibn Khawwat from Sahal ibn Abi Hathma in Bukhari and Muslim. Now this description is a description which Allah Azza wa Jal has given in the Quran. In Surah An-Nisa, Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَإِذَا كُنْتَ فِيهِمْ فَأَقَمْتَ لَهُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فَلْتَكُمْ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْهُمْ مَعَكَ وَلْيَأْخُذُوا أَسْلِحَتَهُمْ فَإِذَا سَجَدُوا فَلْيَكُونُوا مِنْ وَرَائِكُمْ. So meaning that if you are with them, Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that you establish the salah, let there be a group of them with you and let them take their weapons, asliha. And then فَإِذَا سَجَدُوا, meaning that when they finish the salah, فَلْيَكُونُوا مِنْ وَرَائِكُمْ, that they should go back and basically be on defense. وَلْتَأْتِ طَائِفَةٌ أُخْرَى, then the other group comes. And this is the one that's previously been facing their enemy. لَمْ يُصَلُّوا فَلْيُصَلُّوا مَعَكَ, the one group that did not pray, فَلْيُصَلُّوا مَعَكَ, and they should pray with you. وَلْيَأْخُذُوا حِذْرَهُمْ وَأَسْلِحَتَهُم, they should take caution and their weapons. So this third description is the one that Allah Azza wa Jal has given in the Quran, or is the one that, if you like, conforms to the salah in the Quran. And for that reason, a number of the scholars have chosen this description. Amongst them, Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah. As I mentioned earlier, he says that there are 6 or 7 ahadith, and whichever one does is permissible, but he himself, rahimahullah, has chosen the description of this particular description. And the ulama, they say, because this is one that is more in accordance with the Quran. And also this is also chosen by Imam Malik as well, rahimahullah. Imam Malik has chosen this description. But however, Imam Malik has 2 views on this. His first opinion was what we've just said, that the Imam waits and finishes with the second group, right? That was his first opinion. However, the later opinion of Imam Malik was that the Imam does not wait in the last rak'ah, but he finishes his salah and the other group finish the salah by themselves. No? Okay, so Imam Malik rahimahullah, he has 2 views. The first view is what we mentioned here, and this is his earlier view. This is his first view, if you like.
So one aggregates the other.
Sorry?
For example, he changed his opinion.
Yeah, he changed his opinion. He has 2 views on this. So first view is the one that I mentioned here, which is also the view of Imam Ahmad, and also is another one of the views of Imam Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah. So Imam Malik has 2 views. The first view is this one. His second view is that the description is the same, except that the Imam in the second rak'ah does not wait, but rather the Imam finishes the salah and then the other group finish the salah themselves. So you're looking at me confused.
So the second group had no Salatul Jama'ah?
No, Imam would pray 1 rak'ah with them. So when the Imam prays the 1 rak'ah, he would finish. Then the second group would get up and then they would finish the rak'ah themselves. Yeah? Okay. Right, what else do I need to mention here? So look. Okay. Does that make sense, brothers? Any questions up to here or anything that's I've confused anybody with? Inshallah, you can ask. Hold on. What is the latest version? The latest version of Imam Malik is that, and this is what Shaykh Muhammad al-Amin al-Shankiti mentions from him, or from the Malikiyah. He says that the description that Imam Malik has taken is that Imam prays 1 rak'ah. Okay, the Imam prays 1 rak'ah if it's a case of 2 rak'ah salat. That is, if they are traveling, it's 2 rak'ah salat. Prays 1 rak'ah. Or if it's a case of salah in hadr, that is, if when they are not traveling, then the Imam would pray 2 rak'ah. Okay, and then. Okay, so the first group would pray with the Imam. The first group would pray with the Imam. So if it's a case of 2 rak'ahs, so the first group would pray 1 rak'ah with the Imam, and then they would finish themselves. Right? They would finish themselves. And if it's a case of 4 rak'ah salah, they would pray 2 rak'ah with the Imam, then they would pray 2 rak'ah themselves.